What up, y'all? Happy Monday. Happy Monday. We have so much to talk about. A lot of it involves Netflix in so many ways. So keep it locked.
I am your forever ROH Women's Champion, your fallen goddess, the Alpha, the Minion, Overlord, the ROH Gatekeeper. But most of all, I am the best in the world, Athena, and you are watching Women's Wrestling Talk.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling network on the planet.
What up, y'all? Happy Monday. Happy Monday. We have so much to talk about, so we're not going to get, I'm not going to take too much of your time. My name is tktrinidad. Welcome to WWT Live. And she just dropped, just like a fresh album, y'all. Honey Pot Predictions. So you definitely want to check Instagram for that.
Of WWT Wrestling with Honey with
Honey Pot Predictions. You be dropping them like back in the day. Like she just dropped one. If y'all didn't watch it, you better go and watch it.
Dropping the albums. I can't.
Dropping the albums. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great, boss lady. Great to see you. So excited to get into all the fun festivities for the evening.
That part did. And shout out, he's just gonna be referred to as your husband. Shout out to your husband in the chat. She's like, yeah, that's his name.
That's basically his name every day.
Shout out to our producer in the chat, and shout out to Lewis in the chat as well, and cousin Ron. What's up? As he's in the building too. But we're not alone. She brings us all the PR, and she has some tea with for AEW.
WWT resident AEW expert Courtney NJ11.
No.
He's in the building. How are you doing, Courtney?
I never get tired of that. It is Monday. It's a victory Monday. I'm excited to get everything into it. And also, it looks like it's full gear this weekend.
Yes, it is. I mean, I think you have an announcement to make too, right?
I do, but I'm going to save it a little bit later on during the show.
Oh, she don't want to rip that Band-Aid off too quick, boss lady. You can't blame her. Magicians don't reveal their secrets too fast up front, you know?
That part. And the guys whose video I can never find, but he likes this video, so we're going to go with it.
Oh, would you look at... Oh, wait. Oh, it's... No. Unfortunately.
That's how he's coming in on a Monday. Coming in hot. Oh. Hey, Dion, how are you doing?
That's great. That's a great welcome. That's a great intro. Oh, my goodness.
Wait, I found it.
It's Dion from at All Star Fandom.
Quite frankly, you need to go back to the drawing board because your game absolutely sucks.
There we go. Thank you. I'm cool with all of them, honestly, for both of them.
There it is. The People's Nightmare is incredible.
That's hilarious.
Actually, yeah, that is really good, Dylan. I like that. There's a gem for you. Dylan be bringing gems. There's a gem for you, Dion. So let's get into it. Not necessarily wrestling related, but kind of wrestling related. Let's talk a little bit about Jake Paul and Mr. Tyson. How did you guys like this fight? First, there's a couple things in play. How did you like the fight? And then Netflix and the buffering situation. So let's go with the fight first, then Netflix.
I didn't. The fight shouldn't have been happening. I mean, Mike wasn't really in the best shape. I mean, he looks great, but on paper, I mean, the guy had a knee brace on. He was moving a little slow. I mean, shout out, kudos to him even getting back in the ring at 58 years old, the legend that is Iron Mike Tyson, but that wasn't the Iron Mike that we all know and loved. I don't think this match should have even happened in the first place. And I would have hoped that Jake Paul would have probably thought to himself, I'm not going to go hard on him. Cause like you could clearly see it. He was walking very gingerly to the ring and everything like that. But, I wasn't really fond of. I kind of figured that it was going to be exactly what it was, you know. But kudos to them both.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't what we were expecting. I think all like older fans of Tyson were like, okay, all he needs is one good punch. He has a puncher's chance, right? But he didn't look the same way he looked in all those training videos I saw. 2 minutes got him gassed that much, and I'm sure he's. It felt like it may have been like, hey, let's just get this money. That's what I took it as. The fights on the undercard were a lot better than the actual main event. So, I mean, and like I'm with Honey. Fight shouldn't have happened. He's 58. I don't care how good a shape he's in. And he still showed those technique will never leave him. Like, right. But those reflexes, obviously at 58, aren't as sharp as he was once before. Yeah. Oh yeah, they were in Texas because they were only state to commission the fight or something like that. So that's why. So it was fine. I mean, it did what it was supposed to do. In relation to the Netflix buffering thing, I don't know if you can jump in that. I can take my tag in there. But it was a cluster bomb to sort of get on because I kept jumping on back and forth in between one fight, go back to something else, in between another, go back to another. So I was able to jump on just in time, and it just looked like some buffering issues, some pixelated pictures. It wasn't as clear, but it's 60 million households was watching that night. So that's the caveat. Like that's a lot of eyeballs on Netflix at one time, more than the usual. But
not to mention the women should have been the main event.
Oh, that fight was insane. A
lot of people did like the women's matches during that event. I did hear a lot of positive.
The women's main event should have been the main event.
And they're real about it too. She headbutts all the time. She comes in here and headbutts everybody.
The trainer. Courtney, how did you feel about the match?
I'm not gonna lie, I did not watch the match, but from my perspective, with everything they were building and hyping, you would think it would be on that level with all the promotion that they were. But I did hear the main event was very terrible. I felt really bad because we all grew up with Mike Tyson. My family grew up with Mike Tyson in his fights, and I felt very bad that it didn't come up to the expectations that everybody wanted. So it was very hard to swallow. And then, of course, the buffering issue with Netflix, that was also a key too. Everybody was complaining more on that than it was on the fight. So, yeah, that's my remarks.
Well, here's the thing. Mike Tyson is not old enough. He's not so old that he can't make his own decisions. So at the end of the day, if you step in the ring, then anybody, this goes for Jake Paul too. Everybody deserves to get a punch in the face. So he knew what he was stepping into. So that's one thing. And another thing too, I think JD referenced it. Jake is getting everybody paid.
Yeah.
And there was an interview that I saw that Mike Tyson did where they asked him about Jake Paul and what he's doing to the sport of boxing. And I feel like it's a beautiful sport. However, it was a dying sport. That's why, we had DAZN and all that stuff. What he has managed to do, sold out a stadium in Texas. Like, women. Yeah, if the women were main eventing, I don't think that it would have been sold out. What it did for the women is it put a lot of women's names introduced a lot of women to people who would have never known who they were because of this match. Right. So Jake Paul is, he might not take, I believe the match he had before, he lost to like actually an
actual boxer. Yeah.
Right. So he might not take that, but just on the sport on itself, he's making a difference financially and elevating it that we're actually watching it to the point that Netflix was buffering. Because I don't know if y'all remember back in the day when Victoria's Secrets used to have their things, that's used to buffer too because everybody was watching it. Can you remember a time where everybody, no matter if you're a boxing fan or if you're you like TV shows or you like this, where everybody was sitting down at the same time to watch something that it actually started buffering?
That reminds me of you guys. I'm sure you guys. I might show my age a little bit more here, but you guys seen the movie Cable Guy? And in the ending, you know how he falls onto the satellite and they were about to get the verdict of some major crime investigation or court case that was going on TV, and just before they could reveal the verdict, everything went staticky. I mean, of course, this was of the time when they had antennas on TVs. You kids want to know about that today, but yeah, it reminds me of one of those moments where everybody's literally sitting and watching this worldwide global phenomenon that's about to happen, and you just want to see the results, and then it's buffering or your screen's loading or you have to restart it. What happened with mine, honestly, my TVs were frozen. So I said, screw that. And I put it on my iPad, and my iPad was 10 times clearer and was not even buffering at all. So I was still able to watch it, and I didn't care. After a while, the TVs did come back on, and then, but they were just delayed. They were behind everything that I was up to on my iPad. So I was just like, I'm just sticking with the iPad.
There it is. So now fast forward. I mean, so we had a crazy weekend. Complex Con that happened in Vegas. Becky Lynch was doing something out here in LA, and they announced that the first match for WWE will be in Los Angeles for Raw, which is on Netflix. So one, how do you think this is going to play out, given the fact that there's just a lot of crossovers happening just across with WWE and other platforms? Like I saw like my radio family, almost like my entire radio family from iHeart, Real 92.3 was in Vegas, not for Complex Con, but for WWE, which is a huge thing. So like, where do you think this is? What do you think? How do you think this is going to play out? January, I think it's January 6th. Like, and they also announced that there's going to be heavy hitters, John Cena, like they're bringing out all the stops. So what are you hoping for, and how do you think this is going to play out?
I mean, I feel like it's going to be like I love these graphics, by the way. They're all good, even the square. But I think it's going to play out like, I don't know, maybe in our chat, like a pay-per-view for that first night. Like, everybody's on that graphic. Roman, I think The Rock has one. Bianca has one. It's going to feel like, not gonna say WrestleMania level, but it's gonna feel like, okay, this is an important
Cody
day.
has one too.
Yes.
I didn't want to say anything, but but no, like for real, like I think like this is gonna be like one of the best cards just for a Monday Night Raw, because they have to kick it off strong. And there's been like those rumors saying like they want Roman on Raw a lot, or they want these Netflix at least wants them on Raw a lot. So I'm looking forward to it. It's the first one. Should be. Are we back to 3 hours after that too? Right, for this too.
I believe so.
So I think we get a John Cena match. That's what I'm looking for to kick off the year and kick off his retirement tour. And then you have the final boss come back, and we get ready for WrestleMania.
Man,
it's gonna be wild.
What do you think?
I mean, I'm just glad to see the way this deal with WWE and TKO has branched out. Oh my God, stop it!
Please.
Like ever since this new deal with the TKO group and everything like that, how much wrestling, WWE specifically, has ushered in this new era. I'm really excited for their future endeavors going into Netflix and going into, especially with the whole transition with NXT to CW. I'm excited to see what fresh new things they could come up with and do, with certain things that they couldn't do on television. Netflix completely changes the game. I think I did see something about it possibly going back to a TV 14 rating as well. But I'm either way, I just can't wait for everything to start kicking off. But before we get there, we have to get to War Games and War Games. Right? We have still so much time. We're not even anywhere near the road to WrestleMania yet, but we are almost there.
And I think we're on
it.
And before we get there, we have to get to Hollywood G.
WWT, and going forward, the Professor Gerard Bonner, #NXT bonnerfide.
And I have another reason why I call him Hollywood. There's so many reasons, but the other reason I call him Hollywood G, like, how you call people and they either always pick up. So shout out to Sarah the Rebel. She always picks out for me. But Hollywood G is just so busy that like you get the call, like I call him and then I get the text back hours later, like, look, I'm sorry, I'm busy, and I respect it. But that's like a Hollywood G movie. So it's a, I'm just giving you reasons why your name is in addition to Hollywood G.
So I suppose doing homework with your son makes you Hollywood. Got it.
That's just one day. There have been multiple occasions.
She's really stretching out the multiple.
Oh man,
right.
I see. Now we might have to redefine this multiple situation, but so be it.
So
how y'all doing?
Good.
Good to see you.
We were just talking about this, and I definitely want to get your take on it. So we were talking about the fight, Mike Tyson and Jake Paul fight, and then Netflix. And then the third thing is, what do you see? I mean, the big announcement that WWE is going to be in Los Angeles with Netflix. So those three things. The comedy just
Cindy, you are amazing. I just need you to know
again.
that.
Yes.
Cindy strikes again. She never fails this chat.
Never fails.
Ever. I love her.
Oh man,
Hilarious.
This is great.
All right,
that's great.
We're waiting for you, Professor.
All right, so you were saying there were three things. No, I was trying to gather. I got so distracted.
Gotcha.
There were three things though. It was
Mike
Netflix,
Tyson,
it was the Jake Paul fight, and what have you?
WWE in Los Angeles for the first Netflix show. Raw show, I should say.
Yeah. Well, the fight, the fight itself, I think there are lots of lessons to extract from the fight. One of them, of course, is I think when great stages are created and women get to shine, it's another win. And I think the women's fight was the real star of the show Friday night. And that was just kind of exciting to see how, again, these parallels in pro wrestling and other women's sports are just happening. So I'm really, really excited about that. In terms of Monday Night Raw heading to LA officially, there's just something about that, which, by the way, that the Raw logo, I have not officially seen that put out by Netflix yet. So I'll wait before I pass any judgment on that, because I would have thought if it would have been anywhere, it would have been in that new Netflix commercial that was just released for Raw, and it was not. But that commercial and, Triple H being with Travis Scott, it's just something about seeing that commercial, Raw is Netflix. It made everything that much bigger. Like, I think we thought in our minds this is going to be big, but this is really on a completely different level that obviously nobody in pro wrestling is doing. And, I saw somebody in the chat mention something to the effect of, they hope that Raw would not experience the buffering issues that Netflix did. Well, part of the reason Netflix had the issue is, according to them, it was 60 million people watching. WWE has said if 60 million people are watching, that's a great problem.
Great problem. Yeah.
We can all say that we don't know a point that 60 million people have been watching WWE or any wrestling at one given time. But I have read reports randomly of people who were not watching wrestling that have heard about WWE going on Netflix and that are like, I want to watch it when it gets on Netflix. So I'm interested to see how the viewership for Raw will be impacted with this move to Netflix. It feels so much bigger, and it's a reminder, and I'm sure we'll get to some other spaces regarding AEW. This is another reminder why this is really not a competition between AEW and WWE. They are operating in two literally different universes. You're talking about AEW partnering with GalaxyCon in Columbus, Ohio, which is a cool thing, by the way, a very cool thing. But then you're talking WWE on Netflix. The same Netflix that's about to host Beyonce on the halftime show 2 weeks before, right? Like this is we aren't dealing in the same universe. We aren't. And so I hope that people will be wise enough to stop making the comparisons. And so I'm also curious, based on the commercial, how are they going to shoot Raw on Netflix? I think the whole presentation that we're about to see is going to be vastly different. It's going to be so crazy.
Gonna be
look at CW. Look at NXT right now on CW. It play. I was talking. Ironically, for you guys who know, I was talking to Kane a couple of days ago, and it's like cinematic. It's kind of like a hybrid of what Lucha Underground was, but on steroids with way more money. If that makes sense. Like it's just very like they're doing the little vignettes, but the music's playing underneath. It's playing like a movie. It's insane, and that's just for CW and NXT. That Netflix money plus TKO.
Yeah, because straight from the gate, you sort of think like, okay, it'll run like a PLE, but this is new. It's like Professor said, this is like a new universe. What else can we do now without having? They'll still have their bumper ads in the middle and stuff like that. This match is brought to you by whatever. But just how their production has ramped it up in the last like year, just for a regular Monday Night Raw on USA. Let me get Netflix with no commercials, and let's see what we can do. You won't be able to leave.
No man.
Well, because you lose it, you never win.
Oh boy!
That stuff is
Wow.
The excitement is real.
Yes. Okay. The excitement is real. The anticipation is real.
Okay. Well, what do we got next?
Wait, I wanna talk about this real quick. I hope a big change will be cameras being more acknowledged during backstage segments. I kind of ask what do you mean by that? I don't understand that.
I guess
so
more
you mean like in reference to breaking the fourth wall, like talking to
like how the camera's just there in Roman's locker room and we get to see the story from there. Remember TNA back in the day used to do like this almost like we're not supposed to be seeing this sort of thing. It'll be a camera shot around the corner. Like we're not supposed to be watching it, or this isn't a setup. I think that's what he may have meant, but nah, man, I want my cameras to be right there.
I think he means breaking the fourth wall. I don't think breaking the fourth wall is necessary in this space. I don't think that it's a content overhaul that we need for Netflix. I mean, what they've done has gotten them to Netflix. I think what we're going to see are production elements that are going to, and that's honestly been a thing for WWE forever. They've always raised the production game. They've always switched out their cameras and found new ways to shot and shoot and, do different things in terms of production and all that. So they've always been so forward thinking with that I mean, TK, you were talking about what we might just call an unlimited budget. I mean, Netflix and $5 billion over 10 years and TKO. I mean, we're talking about budgets with B's, right?
Yeah.
Budgets with billions.
Big B's.
Big
B's, like
B's.
big balls.
Wait a minute.
What? What?
Big billions. We're talking about big bills, right?
Yeah, the bills.
Now, I just want y'all to imagine that moment right there. Imagine trying to do commentary with almost anything coming out of her mouth. Yeah. Wow.
That was beautiful.
Wow.
The awkward thinking and silence in everybody's face was just it made my Monday.
All right.
All right, big
So,
D's as in
wow.
billions. Continue.
What's to say after that? What?
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm not sure how we're supposed to continue this. Do you have maybe a good segue for this? Anyone?
Hashtag 416.
You probably needed that for 416 anyway. Wow.
It's only Monday.
So speaking of big things, the Raw premiere is supposed to be very big, and there are lots of names that are being brought out. Apparently John Cena, apparently Roman Reigns, apparently Cody Rhodes, apparently CM Punk. If you saw the commercial, you saw a lot of interesting figures in there, and I think people have had questions. Some of their questions have included, does this mean Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes are heading to Raw on a permanent basis? You know, what does this mean? The answer actually is, according to WWE, they want to get as many eyes on this debut episode as possible. So they are stacking the deck.
Yeah.
That's what that is. And when you have those people at your disposal on a space like Netflix, why wouldn't you do that? So I guess my question to all of you is, given the magnitude of this, and we could make the argument that we haven't seen a premiere this big since SmackDown moved to Fox back in 2019, what do you think will be done? Oh, what's one thing that you think will be done on this first episode on Netflix?
John Cena will definitely be showing up off the rip.
Yeah. I think he wrestles that night.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's got
definitely.
Okay. Okay.
Maybe, I don't know, maybe.
Could we see a title change?
Maybe Becky Lynch returns.
Yeah, I think we're gonna get some returns. I think we're gonna get some legends. I think we're gonna get people that we didn't even think that we were gonna see. Because another thing, kind of going back to what you said, Professor, as far as they want eyes on the product who don't normally watch wrestling. And there are people who haven't watched wrestling, but they still talk about, you know, Hulk Hogan or whatever. Like when they think of wrestling, they still think of a certain era. So I think they're definitely going to bring in some legends just to make appearances. You know, we might have a title change, but I don't know if that's as important as all the big moments. Like just the surprises. There's gonna be things that are gonna be unexpected. There's gonna be definitely a crossover. Like I said, shout out to my radio family that was in Vegas. There's definitely gonna be, especially with it being in LA, there's definitely gonna be a crossover of wrestling and Hollywood and wrestling and entertainment. So we're gonna see stuff like that. So I think it's gonna be way more big moments than I don't want to say wrestling nuances, but I don't, you know, we might get a title change, but I don't think that's not going to be at the forefront of their mind. The forefront of their mind is, how do we get these people hooked? How do we make the biggest spectacle of it that they're going to want to come back next week to Netflix, because they already have a subscription that they're going to want to come back next week to watch it. I think that's the main goal, because then it makes everybody money. So I think we're just going to get big names on wrestling and entertainment side. We're going to just have some moments where we're just like clutch pearls. Oh my gosh, who's here? And all that stuff.
And that's a great build towards WrestleMania too. So if you've watched that January 6th one, and what WrestleMania is April.
I mean, I was gonna say, do you guys remember what happened that first Raw, that first day back in wrestling when the new year started?
It's The Rock.
Amazing what it's gonna lead up to now. Like, and we're still not even at War Games yet.
I also think this. I think WWE, they've been doing this, but nobody's really articulated it in this way. WWE is challenging the traditional wrestling fan to stop thinking wrestling and start thinking entertainment. There's a reason that their last name is Entertainment. And I think that, you know, for the wrestling fan that's like, there's got to be a massive title change. The average person doesn't know who the world champion is. So a title change isn't going to really do anything. Because you have to remember this too. I am not sure, but I can almost guarantee that the episodes of Raw will remain on Netflix in an on-demand capacity. So not only are they trying to move the live number, but they want to move the on-demand number as well. So what are the moments that are going to be so significant that people have to come back and watch? That, I think, is going to be the real question. And again, a title change may or may not be that, but my God, Jelly Roll showing up, you know, performing another choke slam might be one of those moments. The Rock showing up and finally confronting the Bloodline will be one of those moments. And so I think it's going to challenge the average wrestling fan. No, not the average wrestling fan. It's going to challenge the diehard wrestling fan to really rethink how they approach WWE, because it's clear WWE is going to be strong on the entertainment by way of wrestling, and then other organizations might be strong on wrestling with sprinkles of entertainment.
Yeah, definitely. I can't even imagine where they could go with this. I mean, we've seen what they could do within this year. This feels 10 times bigger than when they transitioned to the WWE network. Like, this is 10 times bigger than that. This is Netflix. Like, everyone has you know, access to Netflix. Everybody can get access to Netflix, and there's unlimited things to view on Netflix. But then you move wrestling to Netflix.
I mean, it's easily accessible now.
Yep.
It's gonna be beautiful.
And another thing too you have to remember is
Can I drop a number?
Sure.
Or you might actually be about to say what I'm going to say. Go ahead.
Probably not. So you can go first.
That's probably very true. Okay. So in terms of the access that Netflix has, as of the third quarter of 2024, we're currently in the fourth, so this is obviously very, very recent. Netflix has 282.7 million subscribers worldwide. That's a lot of people.
I wasn't gonna say that.
That's a lot of people potentially getting access. That's a lot of potential access for Monday Night Raw.
That's bananas.
A lot more.
That's crazy.
So,
yeah. And another thing,
the possibilities are nuts.
All right, endless. Another thing I was gonna say is, if you remember, Netflix has moved away from the model as far as making original programming, not as much. If you remember, at one point, Netflix was making a lot of different TV shows, movies, stuff like that. They're not doing that as much. And so with that being said, they have that budget that they had before, they can throw it into marketing, which is clutch for WWE. Not necessarily saying that they need it, but now WWE has different marketing budgets. So they have their own marketing budget. They have the TKO marketing budget. They're also in that UFC wing where there's crossover there. They have the crossover that's coming through NFL. Now they have Netflix, which is in households worldwide.
I mean,
because they want them to be successful.
There's a lot of.
Oh, go ahead.
Sorry. There's a lot of cross promotional opportunities they can go from this, from like a PR marketing standpoint, and so many different avenues that they could go with. Plus, you're in LA. You're in the City of Angels for the season premiere, and it's a possibility we may see some sports teams from LA come to the event
for sure.
Because there's a few that are diehard wrestling fans, so I can imagine some of them coming out, enjoying the show, and there's just so many venues and opportunities, especially leading up to the season premiere.
Very true. Well, we'll look forward to Netflix, and we'll see if WWT will be in the house for that. With that being said, what else do we have?
Oh, yeah.
He's muted.
Sorry. Sorry, there we go. I'm just what a day. Speaking of big moments, AEW ended Collision Saturday night with a unique look at the upcoming Full Gear PLE or pay-per-view. It was designed to really kind of showcase all of the matches that were leading up to it and the stories. And so they put this promo video together, and they used Guns N' Roses' November Rain as the song for that. And it was interesting. They've released it fully, so you guys can go back and watch it. And I'd be curious to see, if you watched it, what were your thoughts on that presentation? And that was how Collision went off the air as well.
Courtney,
I want to hear what Courtney has to say.
I reserved those first AEW questions for Courtney. So.
Yep.
No, I will say I had to watch it 3 times because that video was just epic. Whoever is part of that production video team of AEW needs a raise. And it really talks about every single match, the build-ups that's been happening, not just for the month, but within the last 5 years. Because there was some stuff that everybody kept asking, like, oh, Orange Cassidy, how come he has a title shot? Well, here we go. It was showing a montage of when he started with the Best Friends, and when Wheeler Yuta and Chuck Taylor, and then it shifted over into now with Moxley, and of course showing his previous battles, which all really made sense. And also, a couple weeks ago, I actually mentioned this on my watch along. This is one of the first PLEs they have where they don't have any storylines involving the Elite, which is no shade against them, but this is a good opportunity for some of their stars, most specifically their AEW originals, to really come into the fray, because this is one of their most important PLEs of this year. Like, you have OC, he's challenging Jon Moxley. You have Chris Statlander, he's challenging Mercedes Moné. You have Private Party and The Acclaim, 2 of your homegrown AEW tag teams in a fatal 4-way match. You have MJF, he's going to be facing off against Roderick Strong. So there is a lot of opportunities. And especially in one of the lyrics that I was listening to, it actually related to Kyle Fletcher and Will Ospreay. And it was just absolute perfect timing. So this really does bring a lot of aesthetics. And as to why this is a really important PLE, and it gets people really excited leading up to this. And also, I'm intrigued on what's going to happen with Dynamite, since this is their last show before the pay-per-view. So there's many different elements, and if you have not seen the video, please check it out, because this is something that is definitely at the top of their list. Because I will, as I said again, whoever made that video, got the production costs, needs a raise for that video.
Any other thoughts on that particular video?
Was it good? Like, was it good? Like scrumdiddlyumptious good? Like the way it was when they had Limp Bizkit's "My Way" covering one of the
that'll never be defeated.
Pay-per-views, or Creed "My Sacrifice" was
never be defeated. Undefeated.
I mean, listen, I didn't see it yet, but you could definitely count on me to be a little braggadocious about Guns N' Roses and that classic of a song, November Rain. Classic video too. I'm not sure why I ran that video to death on VHS when I was a kid, but I did, and I always liked Slash. But I got to check out the video. I haven't seen it yet.
So I saw it for the first time today, and I don't want to say this, Courtney. It didn't do it for me, Courtney. I wasn't feeling it.
Wait.
Play it. Go. You know which one.
I got you. We gotta get it.
Oh,
we gotta do this the right way.
Yeah.
I wasn't ready. See you. Had to prepare this, but yeah.
I'm not feeling it.
And after 9 minutes almost of sitting through that, I just didn't.
It's okay.
I just didn't.
I just didn't. I don't know. It seemed production was fine, but I've seen almost like college sports hype videos a bit better than that. And just to like compare, like the WrestleMania's last like hype video with Meek Mills was only like 3 minutes and 11 seconds, and that got me more pumped for WrestleMania than this Guns N' Roses. And maybe it's the music, maybe it's whatever, but 9 minutes of sort of still telling me the story of like, this is why we're going into this. I wasn't feeling it. I took some other numbers down. I was like, every WWE hype video for WrestleMania, the last one was like under 5 minutes, maybe four and some change. Just wasn't feeling it, man. It didn't feel. We talk about how WWE is in this other universe, and I hate to compare it because we talked about not comparing before, but it didn't resonate, and I don't know who they were after for this video. I didn't know who the audience was fully for this video, especially when you see something like Meek Mills on WrestleMania, or Travis Scott, Triple H was there this weekend. So, it just felt, I don't know what else to say.
Would you say that, because at one point in society, obviously that video came out, and there was even before that where music videos songs were like 7, 8, 9, 12 minutes long. Now the average song you're getting 2.5 minutes, maybe even 4 to 5 if they're pushing it. So as a society, our attention span is shorter. Now, does this speak to that AEW is out of touch with fans, or are they targeting a different generation who can appreciate the longer form?
See, that's why I don't know.
I mean, I feel like we're in such an attention grabbing space, especially with social media and everything like that. Like you see how you scroll through videos on Instagram and you see something, and usually it would last about 30 seconds. If you get any, because that's like the target attention span for when we're scrolling on our phones. But then when you post something that's a little over 1.5 minutes or 2 minutes or 5 minutes or whatever, it becomes a little redundant, and you're like, okay, when is it getting to the good part? And then you just scroll to the next thing that's going to be quicker. Like I feel like we're at such an attention grabbing stage, like where everything has to be quick, quick to the eye, quick to the ears, and conveniently short enough to get the point across and be able to still advertise a great product.
I mean, it's the art at the end of the day to be able to hook someone that quickly. But it's also a terrible art to be able to lose someone within that time frame too. It's like the other side of the coin, right? Yeah. Even back in the day when we think about, like you talked about the My Way with Limp Bizkit, like that's an iconic WrestleMania video. Like before we were scrolling, if that came on a Monday night, we sat there and watched it all the way through. And
if I catch that video on social media now, I'm stopping and watching every second like I've never seen it before.
So there was something within that video or something within that, just not the music or whatever, but it was like, okay, I'm invested in this. And I think that's where it was for me. I don't think I was invested in AEW enough to, I guess, enjoy it if I were to enjoy it.
Well, my internet's acting up, so I hope I make it through what I'm about to say. Okay.
No, you're good on our end. I hear you.
You're good.
I'd like to think I'm invested in AEW. Okay. I'd like to think I'm invested in AEW. And I was watching Collision, and I was intrigued to see how this show was ending because there was like 10 minutes left, and it was just on the announcers. And so watching them announce that, hey, we love Guns N' Roses, and we're about to set you up for this pay-per-view with Guns N' Roses in this video. I'm like, okay, cool. And so it kind of felt like this. I don't know if you guys have ever been to MIT. At MIT, they have in one of their main buildings, don't do it, TK. In one of their main buildings, they have I saw her. Yeah. They have a hallway that seemingly goes on and on and on. And the hallway is so long, they call it the infinite corridor. Because it just, I mean, you look and it just looks like it's never, ever going to end. That was this video for me. It just was never going to end. And I think it was the problem of a combination of a slow song and all of these stories in 10 minutes. So this now moves into the space of marketing and content creation. If you're going to do a 9-minute video, and let me put this is also where what's important to the company isn't important to the viewer. Right? So the company wants to be able to say, hey, we put this 10-minute hype video together for you to watch. When what they've done in the past is done a 30-minute special that focused on each story, that had commercial breaks and had enough time for you to be actually invested in the story, instead of trying to cram it all into a 10-minute, one video, one song kind of thing. It just doesn't work from a content creation perspective. And so I think that's where I sat back and realized this is a battle of apples and kumquats at this point, because we're not looking at the same thing. We're not. You
Dylan,
can't possibly be thinking about the same audience that the WWE is thinking about when they go after, when they grab a Jelly Roll, Travis Scott, Meek Mill,
Snoop Dogg.
Like we're not looking at the same group of people here. And even, a Guns N' Roses space, of the million songs that people know from Guns N' Roses, that would have been more hype to excite you for a pay-per-view, grabbing one of the slowest songs in their catalog, not a good move. So that's where I'm just saying, and so I think from your perspective, Courtney, did they use that 9 minutes and tell all the stories of every match? Yeah. But if you know AEW, they have 15,000 matches. So trying to tell every story in that 9 minutes is a long, long time. And so I think they really, I'm not going to say that I will never tell somebody not to get a raise, but I think what they need to do is clearly define who their target audience is. True. Because it's very clear they are not going after the same people that WWE are. There is no way in the world. No. And so I was not as impressed by that video. In fact, that video showed me one of two things. Either they don't know who their target audience is, or they do, and we were the silly ones that were thinking they were trying to go after the same people as WWE. Because
on the flip side of it, yeah. Same. Right. Like, I feel like maybe they would have been more they would have been received a lot better if they went with a different song. Like if they went with Welcome to the Jungle instead of November Rain, like now you have attraction. Welcome to the Jungle is probably one of the most popular Guns N' Roses songs. So like, it instantly when you hear it. Or even one that was affiliated with the Terminator years ago, things like that, something that was a little bit more on the cultural side to where we understood, that iconic 90s era. But yeah, they probably would have had a lot better luck with that. But
maybe it just wasn't for us. Maybe that's just to sum it all. It just, again, I think it's just the attention span and everything is. I think we are not the demographic.
Like we're really gonna go, and this is not a knock on Guns N' Roses at all, but I'm just saying, like, I felt like there was more excitement surrounding Sexy Red on NXT than there is with this Guns N' Roses, and that sucks because I have family members that I grew up listening to Guns N' Roses as well in certain occasions too, and I respect the legend that is Guns N' Roses, but I'm like, AEW kind of not kind of not doing them a favor with this slow ballad for a full gear pay-per-view wrestling promotion or advertisement. And I'm just like, this needs to be a little bit grittier. I don't know if this is the right choice of song.
Yeah, that was really hard
but love the song.
Especially if it's very slow and it's like, okay. And if it's that long, it's very hard. And the one critical thing that kind of frustrated me in the video, because they went so back to Orange Cassidy and Moxley, it's like you didn't show much of the other matches. It's like you went around in circles with them, and it's like, okay, Moxley and Orange, that's fine, but it's like you could have did it even on all the matches that you had so far.
Yeah. Well, I understand the time on Moxley and Orange. That's the main event. So, I mean, if your main event doesn't draw, you know, I don't know what else will. But I think, again, it went too long. And again, the target audience, and this is what's interesting to me. I want to be clear, because this is not how do I say this? This is how I say this. So hip hop is a genre that is designed towards a younger demographic. And it is not specific to any particular culture lines, because multiple cultures listen to and engage in hip hop. So it's not a culture kind of thing. What's so off to me about this is AEW basically is for the internet wrestling fan who tends to skew younger. So why they went with such an older track is odd to me. That's the thing that just doesn't, because remember, this is a company that's had hip hop acts on before. Tons of hip hop acts have been on AEW. So it's not that they're not familiar. Whoever made this choice clearly could not have been thinking about the same people that they've marketed to for the last 5 years. It's not one and the same. Not when you consider, look at the names that have been on AEW. They had Rick Ross. They had West Side Gun. They had, you know, and you think about one of the big songs right now is from West Side Gun. The new Hurt Syndicate theme song is doing very well. Look at what Mercedes Moné has done in terms of the style of her music for her theme song. So somebody somewhere wasn't connecting, because the AEW we have seen has either gone rock or they've gone hip hop, but they've skewed toward their fan, which tends to be a younger fan. So they had Trina on the show, right? Like WWE didn't make that move. I mean, they made Sexy Red, but I mean, so you know what I mean? Trina's got a bit more history in that regard.
She's a little more seasoned.
So,
yes.
Well said. Well said. So that's what confuses me, because it's not even consistent with what AEW has done over the years.
Maybe that's what it is, though. The reason I'm saying that is that hip hop is very much mainstream media. And I think what I've been saying for the last couple of years in concern with AEW and WWE is that AEW should figure out what their lane is. Just like how Impact, now TNA, figured their lane in. They stayed in their lane. They stayed focused on what they were trying to do, and they're successful within their lane. And at one point, we all witnessed it. You know, the fake TK was, you know, trying to take his main goal is to take WWE down. I think maybe he realized, or whoever the team is, that's not the goal anymore. We need to find what our lane is. And maybe with this video and the music, their lane is maybe an older crowd who does not relate to mainstream media, who's like, I don't want this, you know, I want the wrestling that I was used to having. So maybe this is a redirect.
Then that redirect needs to be represented in the ring.
True. Maybe this is the first of
in the ring is not
the start of it.
I'm just
trying to help AD. I'm just trying to help him. I'm trying to help the fake TK out. There has to be a reason. Or that guy, whoever edited, just got a really good payday.
I know, you just have to evolve, though, right? Like like wrestling has, WWE has. You have to stay current, no matter whatever you use. Like, look at rock and roll with WWE at the time, and now they're we're going into this rap. Look at their intro, the theme songs to every show now for WB. They're staying current. The loyal, I say loyal fans, the older fans who have stayed around this long obviously love wrestling. So you can put Sexy Red out there all you want. We're still going to watch it. Even if, my uncle knows nothing about Sexy Red, but he watches NXT. And he might have become a fan by now of Sexy Red. But you just have to keep evolving. And I don't think that's, AEW has had, 5 years to sort of figure out their lane. And I don't think it's been figured out yet. But like TK said, this might be their transition is like, this is where we're moving to now.
This is probably how they feel after filming that video, thinking,
Accompanied to the ring by Dakota Kai and the WWE Women's Tag Team Champions, the Kabuki Warriors.
They finished filming that video and they was like, yes, we killed that. We got it. Yes. That's what they did. They're like, we killed that. And crickets.
Yeah. Oh, well.
That's funny. That's very, very funny.
All right, what's next?
22 years ago today, Survivor Series showcased the first ever Elimination Chamber match.
Yep. From Madison Square Garden.
Are we talking this?
I was just saying a fun fact of the day,
Okay. Yeah. I'm glad that they've evolved that thing too. That thing, like, it hurt 22 years ago. Now it looks almost like a toy, which is okay. I mean, Triple H came out with a busted throat after that, or trachea or something like that after it, and yeah, 22 years, good grief, we're old.
22 years ago, I know.
Yeah, 22 years. Where has the time gone?
In 2002, Triple H, Jericho, Shawn Michaels, RVD, Kane, and Booker T. Think about that. Think about that line or that roster, like those guys at the time, that was a fun match to watch. That was definitely fun. I think that 2002, but I think I met Shawn Michaels like that weekend before it happened. If my memory serves me correctly, I think it was that particular date and time. We went to a wrestling store in Yonkers. This is when we were still living in New York. And met Shawn Michaels at a wrestling store in Yonkers. I literally was like super excited, had the HBK, and of course, like this was him like after his comeback, and I remember going up there and I'm with my dad. There's other kids with their parents and stuff like that, little boys even. I don't even remember seeing that many little girls, but I was in the line and I was excited. I see him, like I'm behind a couple of kids, and then we get up there. Mind you, I think 2002. My age is definitely going to show. 2002. I was. Yeah, I'm not going to say that. 2002. I was still pretty much like going into high school. Like I was in 8th grade going into high school, whatever it is. But by the time I got to Shawn Michaels, I literally burst into tears. I had no words. I couldn't even say words. I had no words. I was just gibberish, blubbering, crying, and my father was like, "I'm sorry, man, but she loves you so much." I was like, "Yeah, I love you so much."
Is there a photo of this? Is there a photo
There's a
somewhere?
photo. I have a photo. My dad has it. I know he has it because I saw it before he moved. He moved to Florida this past year. But I literally saw a picture of it, and it's Shawn Michaels signing something. But it was when we went to go see him, and this was, of course, the plastic cameras. Like this was back in those days. Those disposables that were, and then you get doubles. But yeah, I met Shawn. I cried my eyes out. I know everybody else was looking at me like I had 3 heads. And anytime somebody said the name Shawn Michaels after that day, I just burst into tears. Just a fun little story.
That was good to see him back too. That was
great.
That was
at a stage where you never thought he would even go on to have the run that he did. Like we would have gotten the Hall. He wouldn't have gotten the Hall of Fame induction that he did. We wouldn't have had the end of the eras matches that we did at WrestleMania. You know, the ones that he went against Undertaker 2 in a row, and then Triple H, and then he was the referee. Like there wouldn't have been a lot of things that would have transpired if Shawn Michaels didn't make his return in 2002 or 2001.
And I will say, after that match when he won the Elimination Chamber, I just remember JR doing commentary after Shawn Michaels won, and he was just so excited, saying, Shawn Michaels is the new world heavyweight champion of the world in Madison Square Garden.
You could guess what I did at that moment when that happened.
Oh yeah,
cried my eyes out.
That is awesome.
Yeah, man.
Awesome. I love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
Love
I
it. Love
that.
good old HBK. Love good old HBK.
And
that was
the crazy
that was
part,
second prime HBK.
I know, right?
Yeah, I was gonna say it was like he got a literal new lease on life, and probably was the best he ever was. From that run until the end, it was just so special, special. Wow, that's amazing. That is amazing.
He did win that first Elimination Chamber match.
He did.
He did.
Yep. And for the belt that was such a big moment. You remember when Eric Bischoff introduced that, and I was so excited because I knew of Elimination Chamber. If you watched WCW, he did have that contraption, but it wasn't an actual pay-per-view or a stipulated match. But oh my God, when he brought that, thank you, Eric Bischoff. Thank you very much.
Easy
E. Easy E. I can't deal.
Can't.
Too good.
All right, let's get into these Raw predictions.
Oh man, Monday night.
Ooh, Monday night.
Is there a show also, Monday Night Mayor?
Yes, I got confirmation from the mayor a couple hours ago. He is currently in the streets, but he'll be back from the streets for Raw.
Just in time.
Yes.
Convenient how
in
that
the streets.
how he rolls.
Yeah. Well,
what do we have on the card tonight?
We got Sheamus and Braun Breaker for the Intercontinental title, which is going to be pretty fire. Let's see, Rollins versus Bronson Reed yet again. There's just no separating these two. These two absolutely love each other. Rey Mysterio, Zelina Vega are going against Ivy Nile and Gable for mixed tag. I'm really loving that. Push my girl Zelina for sure. And then War Raiders versus Dominic and Carlito.
And then it's gonna be a Liv Morgan appearance. So we'll see what she has to say.
Oh, there's gotta be. I wonder where they
should
are.
be fun. I don't know.
Yeah, the Seth and Bronson Reed one, is that just leading us into War Games? Like, do we get Seth as the fifth guy?
I don't know. Well, we didn't last week. I don't know if that'll come up this week. We'll see.
I mean, apparently there were spoilers for both SmackDown and Raw, which I have sternly made sure I stayed away from.
I don't even know.
So there's a lot of people that already knew what was happening. Like when I was doing the Honey Night SmackDown watch along, they were like, "Yep, there it is. There goes Bronson Reed." Like people knew that Bronson Reed had joined because this was pre-taped, and I'm just like, oh my goodness. Give me all
the spoilers.
Oh man,
no spoilers for me. No, we don't like to watch our movies backwards. Your TK.
Hello.
No.
You like the end from the beginning. That's all I'm gonna say. That's what you said.
Whoa!
That's what you said.
Spicy.
That's what you said. You're the one that said that.
Accusations. These are not accusations. This is false accusation. And
what I said was that I will watch the movie, get to a certain point, and then I'll watch the end and then go back to the middle.
Oh, that's terrible. That's terrible. That's terrible. Oh.
You like the end from the beginning. Yep.
Wow.
That's how you
Anywho.
watch.
Anywho.
That's how you read too, right?
That's how I read.
Oh, you better not.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Oh God.
Even if I open a magazine, I'll always start at the back. I always start.
Who hurt you?
Like you start in the
When-
index.
Who hurt you, TK? Who hurt
I'll start
you?
at the back of the magazine, but for a book, I'll start reading the book. But if it gets to a point, then I'll read the end, and then I'll come back to the book.
TK,
I'm gonna fight all these urges, my brother.
you opened the bottom of the cereal box to get to the toy, didn't you?
No, I didn't do that. I did not, and I did cereal box. I would open the top, but if there is a toy in there, then I might just pour it all out, get the toy, pour it in a big bowl, get the toy, then pour the cereal back in.
See.
No.
See.
That's so
See,
bad.
this is why that 9-minute AEW video just wasn't for you, TK.
It took too long. It took too long.
Oh wow!
Oh my
It took
goodness.
too long.
Well, you all have spoilers, and the team doesn't want to hear. I will definitely hear some spoilers, so you can send them my way. With that being said, I think we don't have anything else, right? We can.
I don't think so. I think that was all that was advertised for Raw. I just can't wait to see what else happens. I hope we get more Wyatt 6 stuff. You know, I'm always down for that.
That'd be cool.
And Raquel and Liv definitely have been going around jumping everybody, so I feel like they're gonna get their comeuppance in these coming weeks.
Mm-hmm.
I just smell something cooking.
Oh,
no pun intended.
But pun intended.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Okay.
She gets
all
it.
right. With see. With that being said, Courtney, where can everybody find you?
Oh, good. They can always find me here every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. You know, every Wednesday I do Dynamite this week. This is the final watch along before Full Gear, so they can always follow me there. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter on @CourtneyNJ11. Also, I mentioned this last couple of weeks. I am in a partnership with the Monster Factory and Bell to Bell, where I'm doing a toy drive with them next Saturday for their event with Jingle Bells. So it's going to be very exciting. I may be doing commentary in one of their matches. I'm not sure yet, but that's going to happen. And there will be no watch along for Full Gear this weekend because I will be there live.
Yeah.
I will be there.
On site, baby, on site.
So there will be no watch along for Full Gear. No watch along this weekend. And
Wow, wait, run that dance back again, Professor.
Dylan got it.
No watch along, but you will see me Monday. You'll see me Wednesday. I will also not be here Friday because I'll be getting ready for Full Gear this weekend. So, but you'll see me Wednesday. This upcoming Wednesday.
Excellent.
And honey, where can everybody find you?
You guys can always find me here Monday, Wednesdays, Fridays with WWT. Don't forget, every Friday we have our Honey Night SmackDown watch along. I can only imagine that this week is going to be bananas, continuing from last week, which was the most very shocking ending to our watch along. And let's see, all things Wrestling with Honey on the socials, Wrestling with Honey TikTok, Facebook, Wrestling W Honey, Wrestling with Honey podcast on YouTube. Like and subscribe, and also check out on my Instagram. I have a little video that I did for my little segment, Short and Sweet, where I pretty much ask a question. You give me a short and sweet answer. Obviously, there's no wrong answers. It's all opinion based.
Mm-hmm.
And today's short and sweet question is, who should be the 5th member for the OTC's team at War Games?
Oh boy.
Oh my God. We can find TK reading spoilers and ruining serials to get to toys on all platforms.
Yes.
Facts.
Well done. Well done. Well done. Mm-mm-mm-mm.
Bosa say
Lord.
either CM Punk or Seth Rollins.
I'm seeing those names. I feel like those are so obvious. I
Do
want
you
want
think-
something to shock me.
Do you think? I mean, because the family is deep. So, do you think it's a family member that we haven't? That's not signed.
I feel like that. I feel like that makes sense. I feel like this is family business, so only family must be involved. I will say this: I really think the final boss has the wise man hostage.
Oh, we're going there.
We going there. We going
Oh
there.
yes.
We going there. Yeah. There's too many layers to still peel off of this onion. We need to give it another week and then we'll see where we're at because it's almost here. It literally is almost here.
Close.
So close. We get so far.
Um,
we gotta know where we gotta know where we gotta find Dion too, guys.
Yeah. Where can everybody find you?
All-Star Fandom Show on TikTok and Instagram. Here was MIA last week, so happy to be back. Here Monday, Wednesday, Fridays, and thanks for having me. Just having a good time. I think I'll go have a bowl of cereal and finish my
bowl of cereal and finish my story
for the night.
Hollywood G, where can they find you?
You can find. Come here. Just
Oh, little professor!
There he is.
So
don't say too much.
The thing is, I want to tell you what just happened in school.
No. Don't tell them.
I am.
No.
So
no.
when I was about
if
to
you're
go,
gonna tell them school, you'll leave. Find something else. What else do you want to tell them?
This was fast.
Okay.
So, last time, so last Sunday we went to two churches, but the two church. So the
Really?
first church
Really?
is that we had like a little rehearsal thingy, but the thing is, I saw Mike and AJ, my two best buddies, plus I got two brothers, Jay and Jackson, they live next to Auntie Stacy, plus that doesn't matter how far they are, they're just down the street, so it's not almost all the way to Church Street, but it's down the road, Church Street ahead. Plus, we used to play fun games. We used to kill spiderwebs. We used to kill a big tarantula called the Kura, golden tarantula. And plus, we just kill it. But if we keep killing it, it'll get stronger and stronger. It'll even run into the house. But if I use a dinosaur, if I use the dinosaur versus the big gigantic spider tarantula, the T-Rex will win because all of his dynamite, he just whoosh, knock it down and eat it.
Good job. All right.
And then,
We'll
when he eats it, he's gonna gobble it up and then burp
all right. That's how you go.
yeah.
Say bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you. All right. All right. Thank you. Close the door. Thank you.
Wow.
Now that is
And
a
you can
story
find
that
me
never.
there.
That is a story.
That is
That is a fun story.
that is a story that I never want finished.
Yeah.
There
So,
it is.
yes. And you can find me there. That's where you can find me. Other than that, bonnerfide and all the spaces. You can check out my commentary work with Southern Honor Wrestling. We just had a big show that's on IWE now, which features the brand new WWE ID prospect Jackson Drake taking on Joe Black. He's a better boomer than the. Oh, that's funny. So check that out. I've got a big show with IWE. And actually, this is going to be interesting. I have a show with IWE this Saturday, and that's actually going to broadcast live on IWTV. So if you are not watching Full Gear, you can actually check out some work that I'm doing live on IWTV this Saturday. Let's see. We've got Ashe Wrestling coming up. We've got
also that awesome film, The Unbreakable Bunch. Go check that out.
Yes. Check that out. The Unbreakable Bunch on Amazon Prime, Apple TV
Hollywood
Plus,
G.
YouTube, Vimeo, all of the spaces. There was something else I was going to mention. I don't remember what it is, but yeah, just follow. Oh, I just dropped a video today as well, talking about Survivor Series. So you guys can go check that out. Share your favorite Survivor Series moments and memories there on my page.
Hollywood G. With that being said, you can follow me everywhere at tktrinidad. You can send me all your spoilers. I would love to see them. It might save me actually time in the long run, so I appreciate it. With that, you say tomato, I say
spoilers.
Oh my gosh. Send me all your spoilers. Make sure you follow Women's Wrestling Talk on all social media platforms at www.talkpod.com. And also in a short time, you're going to see the mayor come back in from the streets to do the Raw post show. So stay tuned for that. That being said, thank you guys so much for watching Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling show on the planet. Ciao, y'all.
Hey, yo, you. Yeah, you that's watching this. You sitting on the couch staring at the screen, not knowing what you want to do, like this is an online college. Are you tired of wearing shirts that make you look like an extra stuck in catering? Do you want to step your wrestling swag game up to the next level? Then Women's Wrestling Talk has got you covered. Like literally. Are you for life in pink or black and white? Or maybe you're the EST and people need to respect you accordingly. Want to put some pride in your stride and show off the muscle in your hustle? Then make sure you check out the WWT store. Not now, but right now. Alright? What you waiting for? Head to www.talkpodstore.com and don't make me fight you.
This episode of Women's Wrestling Talk has been brought to you by All Caribbean Wrestling. Catch the wave. Go to allcaribbeanwrestling.com to check out all the latest pay-per-views or go on the YouTube page at All Caribbean Wrestling. Also, go and check out their social on Instagram at All Caribbean Wrestling and on X at All Caribbean WR1.
Thanks for joining WWT. Don't forget to like us on all social media platforms at WW Talk Pod. Like and subscribe on all video and audio platforms like yesterday, my G. And check out our website at www.talkpod.com. Thanks for watching Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling network